Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be taking a look at the very early stages of coming up with the chapter layout, the page layouts. Basically see kind of the sketch work that I do. We're going to look at Sacrifice Brotherhood today, which is a MANNA, a term coined by Coffee Comics. I'm part of his Coffee Originals team where we're posting on his website. I'll post a link below. So with MANNA, it's a little different. There's a criteria going into it. It simplifies the form a little bit. So where Sacrifice, I'm trying to put in a lot more detail. Characters look more, I don't want to say mature, but more beat up, more rough. Here things can look a little bit more simple, more simplified forms. Here I'll put an image here for you to see the kind of criteria of the originals and what makes a MANNA. It's to help, because everybody here in the West, we're all super swamped and busy, and this is just a way to go about doing things that makes sense. So I was a fan of the idea. I decided to join on that premise. I do like it, and I do want to tell this story, and the only way to fit this story in while working on Sacrifice would be, to implement this code. So without further ado, let's get started. Chapter 2, it's going to be titled The Flaming Hand Djinn. We'll feature a new character on this cover. I'm not going to reveal any names yet. This is just super rough, but I want to do something dynamic with a fist. Now, at this stage, I do everything extremely rough. This is just to give myself some ideas where I'm going to go from here. This character is going to be far more cocky than how Rod was. He's going to have the power of a flaming hand, literally. It's going to be a hand that's on fire. That's kind of like a gauntlet. That's what his Djinn's going to be. His Djinn fusion. This character is going to hail from the city of Tyre in Lebanon. So we're going to have Rod come and travel down south from his Turkish tribes. Basically, this chapter, he's going to be coming to pick up supplies and, things for his mission that he's going to do. He's on a mission of revenge, but at the same time, he's been tasked with finding these 4 warriors. We're going to learn about each warrior in each chapter moving forward, and if they're going to join the team or not. Maybe I'll have his hand here or something. Super rough. This doesn't need to be perfect. He's going to have some kind of a cape or cloak, scarf, something. Short sleeves, just because that goes against the times. This character is going to be quite rebellious. He's going to have some flames protruding on this side, so this side will be really bright. You know what? I want to bring it over. Focus the center with the fist more, and then we can have more of the lightness coming this way from the flames. From this cool little gauntlet that's going to be made. So I do have a rough idea of the character. Again, I don't want to spoil anything yet. So I like to start with a double page spread with each chapter. I feel like that's just a fun way to get into things. Now, scripts. I'm going to add a few links to channels that I find helped me a lot with script making. I used to be someone who didn't write scripts. So like in high school, I used to draw a lot of comic books. Off the cusp, once a week, sometimes bi-weekly, I would just, paper and pencil, just draw out a comic book series. There was no scripting involved. Sometimes I'd lay out like ideas I have in mind, like I want to get to point A here and point B here, and like maybe there'll be like 3 fun chapters in between that slowly build up to the plot points I want. being older and wanting to take this more seriously, I find that scripting is essential, and I can't do it without scripting. Not to say that scripting is like end all be all. For example, Feyruz in chapter 3, I believe, of Sacrifice. Yeah, chapter 3. She was completely... Here, let me pull it up. Let's take a look. I'll show you an example of... So with chapter 3, I had this all scripted out. This was all going according to plan. And then this character, Feyruz, just spawned to me as I was drawing. I had no original plan. She wasn't in the script, in any script, actually, at all. It was just going to be Layla and Yasmin. But then I was like, as you draw and get more into the story, I was thinking she needs like a big sister kind of role model. And Feyruz just popped in my head. And then that's what led to this whole scene right here. So this was none of this was in the script. I had to work that in. Her little introduction, as you can see, it's just like 4 or 5 pages. But that works. It actually helped the story, and later on in chapter 8, when Yasmin discovers something about Layla, she goes back and talks to Feyruz about it, and Feyruz just opened up a new spot in the story where I had someone who these two girls can, go and vent between, can talk to, can kind of guide the both of them, who I didn't have before. And I would very much encourage you to approach things like that. I think it was George R. R. Martin who was saying 2 types of writers. One's like an architect and one's a farmer. Architect plots everything out ahead, and then the farmer kind of plants seeds and see where those goes. I'm definitely a farmer. A little bit of an architect with the scripts, but definitely a farmer. I don't let that, hold me down into something. So with this intro, I'm going to have establishing panels here and a cool epic shot of the character in question. Yeah, a little too big. I'll make it a little bit smaller. I think I'll have the background heading into this direction where he will be focused on the arm, the flaming fists. His character will be over here, his hair. And then we'll have this little crook right here defending himself. Well, I guess I spoiled it. This guy is not a good guy. But from the perspective of the opening of this chapter, you're not going to know that. It's going to be like, oh, who's this bully with the flaming power and what's going on? So he's going to be looking that way. We just want to establish some things, figure it out. Building here, another brick building here. We're kind of like in a dark alley here, so there's going to be a hatch pattern this way and that way. With Sacrifice, I'm just as equally as scribbleish with this, so that's kind of like a through line where that stays the same. I know Coffee likes to have these gutter spaces, so in the next page I'll show you how to keep a large enough space in there for it to work on his website. But anyways, here we're going to establish. We'll start off with the new character, kind of shadowed in. I don't write any dialogue yet. This is just to get a rough of like setup. That way I can figure out, I'm going to have a bubble here, maybe a bubble there. We'll have the other guy right here freaking out. Kind of just storyboarding at this point based on the scripts. Anyways, I studied scripting from a bunch of YouTube channels, several YouTube videos, like just throughout the stretch of like a whole year. That was the goal, that was the plan, because I knew if I wanted to improve my writing, I had to do that. There was no other way. And after doing that, I decided to write a couple scripts. I drew actually, I think 3 mock-ups of chapter 1. Not even full mock-ups, just like rough ideas. I let, some of my friends and family read it, give their opinions, and then we voted on like the best one and which one the story would best take place with. And from there, I redid chapter 1. I kind of made a one-shot, put that on Webtoons. I wanted to see the reaction. It did pretty good. I think I got 1,000 views in a month, so I was pretty happy with that. And then that's still up on Webtoons if you ever want to see the one-shot original of Sacrifice. But I basically took that one shot and then turned it into what Volume 1 is. I expanded on all the ideas in it. I broke it up, essentially like that. But with this one, since I had all that behind me, I was able to start off with like a really good script, go into it with the ideas I wanted, and here we are. Kind of make him do like a gulp, add some humor, like that. Again, this guy's just he's just going to appear here in one other scene. I don't even have a character design for him yet. So the next page, actually, I do want to kind of have something like that going on here. There we go. I think that's a good opener. And with the following page, we're going to get back to Rod. So it's always good to open with some kind of establishing shot. Now, this is the gutter I'm telling you about. You want to keep that blank. It'll look really good on the website and also in the book. So based off the script, I've got it written out that Rod is going to be talking to Dal, which is his djinn companion. And he'll be entering a new town. So we'll have this as town. For the dialogue scene, I can do one of Rod and Dal. And Rod again, different angle. He's going to notice this flower withering, which we can use to break up the panels here. And just have, the flower. Dying. Maybe I'll have a petal fall down. And we'll have Rod looking down at it. Where he comes, it's very much full of forest and life. So this is his first time encountering a city and, discovering the things, that make it worse. So back then, you'd have a lot more comforts, but at the same time, more viruses, more people getting sick in those days. Then we'll end it here with Rod commenting on something, and Dal will finish the page with some kind of joke. Right here. Trying to lighten the mood because he's going to sense Rod's not. Let's see, I want him picking up the flower here. Or picking up the rose petal. Or whatever flower it is, I haven't decided yet. Here we'll do a forward shot of Dal. looking up at Rod. We'll do like a semi-side view. Rod looking kind of positive before he notices the decay and the homeless. Maybe draw a homeless guy here. Some poor looking kids begging here. We'll put a little blanket. This guy will have a cup. Things are not what it seems. I'm going to probably look up a real picture of Tyr and some old images and paintings and come up with something here, but there's definitely going to be an interesting town shot here that we'll build up to. Probably have the gate there. Let your eyes come here, look down, follow the page. And that would be the first. See, we've already got 4 pages. We got covering 3 pages in like no time at all. This is what scripting allows you to do. And in fact, in the script, I didn't even mention him picking up the pedal. That's one of those moments where I just thought of this here. He was just going to comment on it here, seeing it. And I figure this will be a nice lead into the next page, where Rod can think about his own village now in a kind of dark scene after losing so much. Have it withered, a little bit eaten. And then we'll have someone shout out to him, noticing that he's a stranger. It's basically going to be some restaurant owner. He's going to invite Rod in. We'll have a larger panel here, or we'll have the two of them converse. He'll recognize that Rod isn't from here based on his cloak, which has his logo, his village emblem. And basically just tell him, like, hey, come grab a bite. Welcome to our city. And he's also going to make a comment about Dal, which is going to surprise both of them. We'll have Dal here. And another page down. So with Manna, we'll do another one, just because this was so quick and I'm short on time in between my lunch breaks. I've got a meeting soon at work, so I'll get back to that. But anyways, we've got really good, we got this opening shot that provides interest, establishing shot in the next scene, follow up with Rod continuing his journey. We still see he's got the wounds he's carrying from losing half of his village from his brother, and just moving the plot along. All right, cool. We'll come back here. This week I'll come in and we'll do the next step into these pages, just so you can see what I mean, with using some of the simplicity in the Manna movement. So like, we don't really need backgrounds in these panels. These panels here can be pretty empty. We've got our establishing, we've got the background. These things will be slightly detailed, more than obviously some of the others, but still it provides time for you to finish things on time. That's how I can do this seasonally. So this will be around 40 pages. That's the plan with the Rod series. As you can see, this is chapter 1 here. I just got to delete their pages out, but it's going to be roughly going over that same pattern, like I said. So like even chapter 3, we're going to have the double page spread intro. We're going to introduce to the next person on the list. Each chapter, following the story, following the plot. We're not going to mess around, go on side quests. It's too soon for that. We just started the story. You want to write really good scripts and have people read them. I've got friends online who've read scripts before I made chapters. I've got people I work with who I've shared stuff with, and they give me honest feedback. And you kind of sift between them all. Obviously, my wife, she's my editor, so she's like my main person to go through this stuff, and we make final decisions together. But anyways, I gotta go. I got a meeting soon. Just showing you the grind, Work anytime you get a chance to. I'll record an outro later. Okay, thanks.